read you something very old. It's from my first book of poetry called Proof of a Tongue, which came out in 2004. Oh my goodness, it's going to have its 10th year anniversary. Amazing business. I'm here from Scotland. I live in Scotland. My dad's Scottish, but on my mother's side, I'm French-Canadian. However, my mother's family didn't teach her to speak French when they moved to Ontario. So this goes out to her. It's called tirer la langue, which is to stick out your tongue, or quite literally to pull or stretch language. My francophone mother failed French class 3 times. Her tongue was stuck to a pole in Cornwall that someone dared her to French kiss in winter. That's that. This is my newest book, Naturally Speaking. This is essentially a collaboration between myself and artificial intelligence, our voice-activated software. It's a meditation on disability poetics. Long story short, I have a condition called fibromyalgia, amongst other things, and essentially it gives me a lot of pain, so I often dictate my poems as opposed to typing them or writing them out longhand. And there are 2 things about this software that I found poetically fascinating. One of them is that it studies your documents and your emails and your vocabulary, and it creates a sort of virtual you. The other is that it's pre-programmed with a dictionary, unlike your ordinary dictionary, and that means that it contains names of corporations and brand names and politicians, particularly those that are Western and right-wing. So often if I say something into the microphone and the computer doesn't understand me, it will type something like, Coca-Cola, Margaret Thatcher. So essentially what I was doing for this book is I was just dictating poems that I'd already written or was working on, and sometimes the computer would type what I said, but more often than not it would make mistakes, and we'd have a sort of back and forth where I'd try to correct it, and eventually something poetic came out of it. I also decided to take it a step further and mess with it a little. So I would read to it in French or Spanish, or weep into the software, which in 2012 wasn't that hard, or laugh to see what it would write based on this virtual me using my language. So without further ado, I'll just read a few poems from the collection. Oh, I have some copies at the back. It has French flaps, and is hand-sewn by the wonderful people at Espresso Books, and co-won the BP Nicol Award last year, which was pretty awesome. So, prologue, laughter. In thee, the all, at a ruin, a bid to get them vegan booty, boldly seek, it and that heirs to the bowel. Fear, but let this be the sound of she. Fast for that, although Big Apple be gone and done, all, even now, her somber battle, fiscal. The goodly end, though, see and then piece my limbs until I believe that they are. They asked us, we did. They judo swing, we e. The walk. Leisures were sold too, more than common side effects. You'll fish 71, believe. You 6-year lad who's doing police, you sound only echoes, while she/we're plain monarchy shall lose tradition, while Fergie only occasionally sells a peak. Just as Quebec, she fills nationwide demand. The of correlates. I lifted the and. I didn't go in the palazzo in the. Those locals looked cool bean, man, about it. Is that when they cornered the Pope Joan? Easy, sassy mouth. When it was. In for going on. This could air. See Ireland. Panama is below, man. Does a yellow to the body. adds elements of because in his gigs. There I kneel, only at you, at thee. Those algorithms have put the R, they can barely, though I don't seem to be, you know, yellow. The because you're not the point, that several points as Tony Blair as Basil. The whole then sudsy, there I dip, pooling in borders, they, the whole, a can be. Known as both, as the man gathered these men more, the air now fatal. All is then what is, then babbly. Eagle and pound go at the scene and the sea. For this poem, I read a Nicanor Parra poem. He was a Chilean poet called Este tiene que ser un cementerio, which means this must be a cemetery, into the software. Tiene que ser un cementerio became instability in a gay theater and feminine debut. The look on thee are the only 60 Gandhis, and if that Gaza scene were that, me, that banner, if that and then me, no, they glared at me, bumblebees. He, a scarf board, is as somber as phosphor within its program, taking, a stables in an interview, in all. The battle of the sector is still a single girl too, baby. At their when I kiss you. Having been sent the means to the past, they are as she now, looking on. Men dip the warden of the US, and sexual pursuant is different. The means to irresponsibly, you know, their space. The soul can be either flamenco or duty. Will the abled, I lately juicy in their many years. You're good as the elegantly, I always but, then say you're the bull. Gone. Want to lose the baby, though. You can then be but actual. From I'll go on, the play of its own is still femme. And I go, I've lately means to be an ape of the year. Epilogue, tears. To the who you are not, like she, one of the gang. This and the good-looking lone. Pick a victim, little bullet, in the middle and back. Pick a bone on another earth, like London. The recent cuts,